Alright, hello! This video is going to be about nothing. Nothing, the idea of nothing. Inherently, in our existence, in our, especially in our language and things like that, nothing or no thing, subjectivity, the idea or the nature of space is something which is not paid attention to. Instead, we focus on the tangible, and the reality is ultimately that we live in a virtual reality anyhow, because it just looks very believable is all, which is an aspect of the it has to be realistic looking, otherwise we wouldn't first of all, realistic to whose perspective? To our perspective. Of course it looks real to us, because we don't know what anything real looks like really anyhow. How do you know what looks real if all you've ever seen is this? Anyhow, but the notion of nothing or nothingness is generally interpreted, like if I say, for instance, I did nothing today. What does that really mean? Or whenever we lie and we say, we're not really lying. When we say, when someone says, what did you do? Or what did you just say? We say nothing. And that summarizes the entire experience. When we can't explain something, we call it nothing. And yet we put such a low value. We put such a bad rap to nothing, and instead doing something. And yet doing something has only such a, its value is only determined by how well you understand nothing. And the language obviously is going to be a problem with this, because nothing really isn't nothing. There is no, in the sense of nothing being something that has no substance to it. The reality is that anything that's subjective is in that dimension of nothingness. For instance, all subjective things like mathematics and the equations of physics, and even physical representations like waves, they're subjective. The natures of the actual processes and the way that things in general interact are principally determined by the subjective nature behind the physical objective reality. So really the nothing is meta. It's a meta object. It's beyond the object. Something out of nothing, in this sense, especially if we consider its subjectivity, is more understandable, or at least it is. Of course, no one will ever probably know how something literally came out of nothing. But I'm not espousing any ideas, and I'm not condemning any ideas either. I mean, unless they're absurd or something like that, like the spaghetti monster, all that shit. I think that nothing needs to be realized as a subjective dimension, counter or contrasting to the objective nature of matter, time, which time is really the activity of matter. The motion and activity of matter is time. There's no force outside of matter causing it to time. time is in fact the activity of matter. So matter is the three-dimensional representation of the, let's say, fourth dimension of time, and consciousness is another dimension overlapping that, which then measures time. And my interpretation also, or my understanding is also that the subjective dimension or consciousness is it is obviously from that point beyond the body. Like I say this, if I have something in my hand and then it is removed, yet I say it's still in my hand, where is it? It is everywhere. And consciousness is the same way. When we die, the consciousness, the fourth dimension or whatever dimension that measures the dimension of time, is then, like Aldous Huxley says, in the book Doors of Perception, the restricting valve brain then ejects the consciousness back into the collective mind. And these things can be, psychology has testimonials of those kinds of things, like Carl Jung's collective unconscious, or the collective consciousness, things like that. Anyway, I'm probably going to make another video to this, another part. I hope this is intriguing to the viewers. Peace the fuck out.